welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So today we will be doing a recap of Love After Lockup. We're going to have two episodes in one. So the very first episode that we're going to recap is going to be episode 49, and then we'll do episode 50. And I will post the timestamp for when we start episode 50. So just in case you don't want to see 49, you heard enough about it, you can actually skip over to 50. Okay. So today I have Reese and Jerome with me. And so I guess we could just go ahead and get started. So we'll start with episode 49. It was titled Busted and Disgusted. Um, so we'll start off with Sean and Sarah. All right, so that episode started off with Sarah is meeting her baby daddy at like a donut or some kind of dessert shop. And so she's there first with her daughter, and she's just talking to her. They're eating sweets and stuff. And then the baby daddy shows up. And so, he's kind of playing with the little girl a little bit or whatever. And they go ahead and they tell her or reveal to the little girl that this is your dad. This isn't just my friend. I think his name is Anthony that has been coming around. It's actually your dad. So the little girl, she gets emotional. She cries, which is understandable. She probably just didn't know what she was feeling in the moment. She's only like 8 or 9, something like that. She's little. And he apologizes to the little girl for not being there, for her. But he's saying now he's going to be around and, is trying to reassure her. And that was pretty much their scenes for that episode. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I was glad to see that, that Sarah was actually able to meet her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And, I liked that they got together. I didn't like the idea how it all seemed got forced together. Okay, well, it has to happen today. You got to go. You got to meet them. Like from last week, they come here. Then it's like, all right, now we got to meet up. And the second is like zero planning, zero chance to feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad the girl was receptive in it and everything, and I hope they explained to her that you didn't know before, but this is your dad, so that's the reason why you can sit on his lap. Just don't sit on people's laps you just meet.
Yeah.
I was a little bit on that one, like, hey,
right. Because I forgot about that. That did bother me. That like, okay, she thinks this is your friend, and you're making it okay for her to sit on your male friend's laps.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And they did talk to her pretty good. I am glad that Sarah did talk to him and say, hey, you're going to have to stay, straight, be good. Because if you relapse or anything, then you're going to have all bets are off. Straight, be good.
I think you're echoing, Reese.
Relapse or anything.
Sorry.
So it all in all, I think it was great that she got to meet her dad, and I really hope they keep it strictly based on the little girl and not trying to look at rekindling, because he also said, hey, I could have her back, I want her. I'm like, which was the wrong choice.
You know what? But she has never or at least we haven't seen her say to him like, well, I'm married. No, we don't need to have that kind of discussion. So she kind of leaves it open for him for what we see. But I don't know what she says to him behind closed doors also. I don't know.
Right, but that's my thing. As soon as that was ever said, every time he came up or said something, that should have been the first thing you said. I mean, if I'm sitting here and I have a girlfriend, fiance, or wife, I want her to say, hey, thank you, I appreciate it, but I'm married, I'm engaged, I'm involved, because I feel that is your job to sit there. Just as if Sean was out there somewhere, you'd want him to sit here and a woman approached him like, listen, no, I got a wife, I got a fiance, whatever the case may be. So you got to reciprocate the same way you'd want to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have held out a lot of doubt with a lot of the confusion that's going on right now.
Right.
With not being up front.
Right.
That's all I got.
All right, Reese, thoughts on Sean, Sarah, and her baby daddy this week?
I'm
sorry, on episode 49, because it wasn't technically this week.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like, I don't know. I still don't like the way they did it. I mean, I guess that was okay. I'm glad they did it because she needs to know because like literally you got her hanging out with a strange man, playing and all this stuff, and then like Jerome said, like I hope they explained to her the reason we allowed you to do this is because it's your dad. Because that bothered, I think that bothered all of us for the whole freaking season that she was doing that mess.
Yeah,
But like the little girl's response, like I know he was all like, "I love you" and this and that, and I was kind of like, "They." It kind of sucks because, like, of course, he wants her to be like, "I love you too, Dad," but she don't know him. You a
yeah.
stranger. You've been you've been a friend. did some play dates with, and maybe it's been weird to me, but you were fun, so I played with you. But you my dad, and I ain't had a dad for real other than Sean, so it's like, okay, it's overwhelming for her. But I don't know. I mean, just the way everything went about to me just makes their whole situation weird. And so I just hope that like he's able to like separate his feelings from her and strictly be the dad he needs to be for his daughter. And I don't know if him and Sean ever gonna get along, but hopefully they do because there is a lot of co-parenting that's gonna happen and they gotta figure that mess out. But I think Sarah kind of messed that up. So I don't know. I guess we'll see whenever they come back to life after lockup. But I feel like it's just gonna be it's still gonna be awkward because I mean now it's awkward for everybody. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of all I got because that little scene was short, and then
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of scenes.
but like they also made it seem like she was like, oh, I don't know what kind of I don't know what he would like, but then suddenly she picked out a flavor of donut and all that stuff. I'm like, man, y'all be making it confusing. We TV, y'all be making it confusing. I'm thinking dude got to come in and order his own donut because she was like, I don't know what he would like. Because I'm like, it's true. How would she know? But apparently she had picked the donut out and John. And then when he just drank her milk,
That was nasty. I don't share my milk with nobody, especially a long lost daddy.
that's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. And I was like, thank God that's her dad. Because I'm like, dude, you didn't even say you her dad before you did that. I was like, that was the most disrespectful mess. And I get it,
Mhm.
she's a kid, but that was some disrespectful, nasty stuff. I'm like, dude, announce you her dad. Then after you didn't tasted your thing, grab her milk like, hey, I'm your dad, so we share genes. You good? But I'm like, but she was even looking like, excuse you?
Mhm.
I don't think she said excuse you, but she was like, wait a minute, excuse me? That was rude. Like I feel like I get it. You don't know what to do, you panicking. But they should have got you a milk too, and if you wanted milk. Like, I don't know. That whole scene was kind of weird to me because it's like it still was forced upon a little girl. Then it's like, how do you feel? And then she was crying. And they made it too awkward. Like I almost wish they had did that off camera.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. So the next couple was Derek and Monique. Alrighty. And so we see more of Monique's family arriving at her home. On the previous episode, her family was arriving at the end of the episode. So we see, it's like she has about four sisters or so. They show up, and then some guy, I don't remember who the guy was. Um, and they start confronting um, Monique and Derek about Derek's red flags in Derek's face, and they are telling Monique, hey, you grab his phone and run to the bathroom because he's coaching women and telling them what to say because Monique had gotten a hold of Derek's phone. Actually, he gave it to her. But at first, it did look like he was deleting some stuff. I believe he was deleting some stuff. But I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that it just maybe just looked like he was deleting it. He wasn't. So Monique ends up getting the phone and she runs into the bathroom. She also reveals to her family that she feels like Derek goes to sleep with his phone in his boxers. I'm not a man, but I can't imagine that that's comfortable. I don't know. All right, and so Monique runs into the bathroom with his phone. She starts going through it. She sees that he's been on Facebook Messenger on the girl from the bar. Okay, so there was a bottle girl at the bar the previous night. Somehow Derek has found her or she found Derek on Instagram. And so they are following each other or something to that effect on there. And so, Monique is upset by that. She confronts Derek. Um, And then she also sees that he's been communicating with another girl. So Monique actually calls that girl, but that girl doesn't give her any information. She's like, we're cool, whatever. She doesn't say anything. So the sisters are like, he's been coaching her. He told her what to say if you ever call. And just revving up everything. All right. And Derek actually admits to Monique, I messed up, but he's like, he still cares or whatever about her. All right, thoughts on Monique and Derek?
Ooh, can I go first on this one?
Yeah, good. I thought it was the whole thing
never
with
mind.
this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I was like, first of all, like, so I do think that's like really rude the way they grabbed the phone and ran off. However, he was so sneaky with it that even if he was doing nothing wrong, he came off as doing something wrong. They're like, well, who is that? And he hides the phone real quick. Then he like won't give her the phone. And then of course, everybody is tag teaming him at this moment. So in a sense, it was kind of unfair to him. But at the same time, like I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I would probably hide whatever I'm like, no matter what I do, I'm gonna be wrong in this situation because all of y'all are tag teaming me. But the way when she was like holding back and ran into the bathroom, I feel almost like for me, that probably would have been like you know what, I ain't got to deal with this. Like I don't. But at the same time, from Monique's standpoint, she need to see the truth. But if it ain't gonna make her leave, then why even care about the truth? To be honest. However, the bottle girl, that part was confusing to me because they made it seem like it was the bottle girl um from Chicago, but then the chick said she's from Georgia. So I don't even know what bottle girl this is, and why would he know a bottle girl in Georgia when he doesn't leave, unless, like he said, he coached her and said, say you from somewhere else. But it's just like, if you spending that weekend with her, you possibly like meeting up with, you're getting grilled and all that stuff. It's kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like he just ain't learned yet how to be a player, but yet he still wants to be a player. And that part is like annoying me about him because you keep contradicting everything you do. You like, this time I'm going to get my woman because I want to do right by her, and then there go another text message, or another time where you keep messing up. And so I'm having a hard time. Like, I was cheering him on for a while, but he's coming out really narcissistic, and I'm having a hard time like following if he's really being honest or if he's just a narcissist. That's all I got.
Agree. I agree, Reese. I mean,
Yeah.
he is definitely coming off that way. Now as far as the way the sisters are reacting, I'm thinking too that Monique has gone to her sister, be like, he's been doing XYZ, and she ain't done nothing yet. And so like, we're tired of seeing our sister get hurt. So yeah, what they did was extreme, but I really believe it all stemmed from what they've heard and constantly, you're crying and you're back over there, you're crying, you're back over there. So we need to get whatever together. And then Monique was in there like, well, how come y'all not just so accepting? We're not supposed to be. You sat here and told us to be happy about it. And he had every excuse in the book. It's like he did wrong. He knew what was in there. And then whenever everything came up, it was like Reese said, in the narcissistic way, it's like kept trying to pass it over. Like, yeah, but why you feel this? But why you think that? I get that, but why? But why? Or, well, what about you? And it's like, instead of just dealing with the whole thing of this is what you did. So it may have been extreme as far as snatching the phone, but you know what? After everything he done to this point, I don't blame the sisters, and I would blame Monique really, because she's so infatuated that, in my opinion, she has more love for him than she does herself.
Yeah.
That's it.
So definitely. So I agree with both of y'all on your thoughts on Derek and Monique. And we will go right into the next couple, Taylor and Chance. Oh my God, where do I begin?
Comments.
So we see Taylor has tracked Chance down to a bar. So she walks into the bar, her and her sister. She walks dead up to him, and he's actually with a woman. So Taylor She runs off. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at what she did because it couldn't have been me. She, instead of just confronting them and saying what she needs to say, she decides to run into the bathroom and cry, right? Instead of necessarily handling the situation the way that she needs to. I'm not going to say what I would have done because I know it will sound really toxic, and I don't feel like being toxic right now. And so she comes back out and she starts asking him questions about her. He slips off from the table and he comes back. He has 4 shots. He wants all of them to do shots together. Of course, Taylor is in no state to be trying to take a shot. She's crying. She's upset. The girl that's with him, she sees Chance like screaming at Taylor and being a little disrespectful. So she did try to calm him down on several different occasions. And so, Taylor notices that he is yelling at her but being nice to the other woman. So of course that upsets Taylor even more. And then the other woman, her name was Tanya. So Tanya starts like touching Chance, and that annoys Taylor as well. And at one point, Chance actually gets up from the table and he goes to the bathroom, and Tanya follows him in there. And we see Taylor, she's still at the table, she's crying, she's upset. But I'm like, girl, I mean, your man is in the bathroom with another woman. So he calls one of his friends and is like trying to figure out if he can go over there for the night or whatever. And so Chance walks out of the bar. While he's outside, he's still screaming at Taylor, this isn't the life that I wanted, la, la, la. And security tries to stop him, or the producer, somebody tries to stop him from getting in the trunk in his truck because clearly he's drunk and he doesn't need to be driving right now. But he really wants to get into this truck. Tanya actually starts begging him to go to an AA meeting. She tells him, you need to go to AA. And it's like, I don't remember Chance being an alcoholic, but apparently he is.
He been an alcoholic.
I thought he just liked to drink or whatever. I didn't realize that he was an actual alcoholic.
One thing, he's been excessively drinking, like shots, like all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And so Taylor, she kind of snaps out. She goes back to her car. She's slamming her car door, which something else wouldn't have been me, because I would have went over to his truck and been slamming and opening and shutting his door instead of my own door, because I don't want to tear up my car. Let's tear out his. And so Bobby says, she needs to get rid of him and she'll move back in and help her if she has to or whatever. All right, so thoughts on Taylor and Chance?
Hey, there's a comment on there you might want to pull up real quick.
I'm sorry, I did. I missed a couple of comments, didn't I? Hey, Lena, how are you?
Hey, Lena.
You see that next comment?
So, Cam messaged me, tell me I was inspirational.
Oh yeah, that's right. He sure did. She showed me.
So she might need to come up.
Yeah, you may need to come up. Look, let me drop this link in here. If you need to or would like to come up, you can, because I want to know more about this. Was it on your TikTok or he found you on Instagram? How did he find you, girl? I want to know. Or where did he find you? Let me say it like that.
She is inspirational, but how did he find her though?
He's been lurking. All right, so who wants to start with Instagram? Okay.
Oh, I mean, I'll start till she comes up.
Is she coming up?
I don't know. She's welcome to come on up if she likes.
But I don't like Chance. And when Taylor, I need her to get more of a backbone. It's like you're getting just dusted, and she's just like, well, I don't. That voice got to go. We got to find some bass somewhere.
Yeah,
get Bobby to talk for you something. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he kept egging it on with the lady, and even when they went in the bathroom, it's like she's gonna get real jealous and letting her touch all over you. you're not touching all over my woman, my girl, whatever. You ain't gonna touch all over her in front of me and think I'm just gonna be like, why are you letting them do that? I'm like, yo, bro, what you doing? You got 3 seconds. 2 of them passed.
Yeah.
So intoxicated or not, there are just certain things that are common sense. There's your wife to be with your child you just had. Stop tripping. As far as then when they get outside, now all of a sudden, now that it's out of hand, now all of a sudden the lady wants to act more responsible. Like, oh no, it's not that. No, you played along all this time. Don't change up now. Bobby, tag, go get her. And then then to top it off, he's the one. Chance is the one with the attitude. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of dealing with. You made the child. You made the family. You sat there and accepted her. It's not. You don't get to pick and choose. I've been locked up, and this is what happened. You had no problem saying that when she was helping you when you was locked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
exactly. So while she was helping him get to where he is now, he wasn't complaining then. Alas. This season he complained, but before when he ain't had no job, he wasn't complaining. He was too busy trying to get his sister out.
Exactly. He's just really been a poor excuse of talk about narcissist, a poor excuse of a dad, of a husband to be, fiance, a responsible person with the bills. And every time something comes that he does something wrong, he always flips it. Well, it's because of this. Well, it's because I'm hungry because you didn't cook. I put your food on the table. Well, you didn't put the fork to my mouth. It's like, dude. So I'm glad this is a moment when Bobby was there. She had the right person by her side. Because if she would have handled that by herself, I could only imagine how that would have been. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm glad Bobby was there. You know what? This is the one time I'm giving Bobby kudos. Chance, just disappointed. And Taylor, just stand strong at some point. Just stand strong. Just be like, no, you don't deserve all that.
Yeah, just say those tears because he don't care nothing about those tears, girl. I hate to say it, but he don't care.
I feel he takes advantage of her kindness and her soft heartedness to do what he wants.
Right.
But that's all I got.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with what you said. I really feel like when she went into the bar, because I'm like, go ahead, girl, because like obviously if you pulling up the location, he had a bar, but yet he ain't come on me and said nothing to you. It wouldn't be a problem if he wasn't such a liar and that his location and all that stuff been shady for like a while.
And he wasn't answering her calls either.
Yeah, not answering the calls. Your location pulling up a bar. You've been going like to these random places during duty, like when you're supposed to be at work. She don't know he laid off. He keeps saying like she don't know I'm laid off. I can't tell her this. But yeah, your location is on, so stupid. So I agree. I'm glad that Bobby was like, hey, let's go roll up. Let's pull up on him. And then I'm glad that she was brave enough to go do it, but I'm just mad about how she did it. I was like, dude, you sound like a little kid who's like you came up like you wanted to do it. I'm like, stop with that voice. Like, be a woman. Be what you was gonna be in the next episode. Or was it the end of this episode or the next episode?
You're getting close there, Reese. You're getting close to getting into episode 50.
So I'm like, but stand your ground. Like you're there because you lied to me. Don't be like, you lied to me. Like you lied to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming off as like probably exactly what he's painted you as, like a whiny, nagging girlfriend who controls him and this and that. And you can't like, you didn't tell me where you was at. So I like that part. I was like, I'm not happy with how she came in there talking and acting. I know she has a sweet voice and I think she's a sweet person. But there comes a time when you're going to pull up on somebody. You got to learn how to adjust your voice accordingly.
All right.
Even if so I saw crazy,
Lena was trying to come up. Lena, try again and see if you can come up.
Like adjust your voice accordingly. and put that man in his place because
Okay, she needed to put some bass in her voice.
yeah.
She needed to be throwing around some cuss words. She should have been threatening that girl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just some
Yeah,
things she
because I
did.
mean, even oh girl, like the going in the bathroom and him like being like she's gonna be jealous. I don't know if that was again production doing some silly stuff, but if any of that is true, like yeah, why wouldn't she be? I'd be angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, hey JC up there. I'm
Okay.
sorry, that cheesy smile. Um, but he
I'm a,
um he was so wrong, and then he just like it's like he just didn't even care. And it's like you getting pleasure out of like being aggy toward this girl, and it's like, come on now, like you know you're in the wrong. So why are you like getting pleasure out of stuff that you know is upsetting her even more when you're in the wrong? That's what upset me this time. And then he's acting all crazy with the shots and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm getting to the second episode, so I'm gonna stop. But no, wait, that was that episode, right? With the shots where he was like, "I'll take this shot and
Yeah.
this shot."
Yeah.
That was like
And
some
he
old
was like, they were like,
alcoholic
we
stuff.
don't even want the shots. So the girl was like, don't take all four though. When
And
he
he's
was
like,
like,
"I'm
well,
gonna take
I'll
all the
drink.
shots," and it's like, dude, what is wrong with you, Chance? Like, why are you so
Right.
angry? You lost your job. She didn't lose your job. You so
Yeah.
angry at her for being responsible and you being irresponsible. That's why I was like, man, Chance, this episode, like, he pushed my buttons. I was like, I can't stand this dude.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I had to stop myself because the audience would have been like, oh, Nene, real toxic. If I had said everything I wanted to say. Because I swear, Taylor did
Same,
not do enough cussing.
same.
Even Bobby would have gotten a pass by me if she had did some more cussing. She
Bobby
should
should
have
have
been
snatched
cussing him
the
out too.
wig.
There
Should have
should have been
snapped
some threats of
the
violence
hair.
against the girl touching on your man because you let her know you didn't like it, and both of them kept on doing it.
Bobby
It's
looked like
like it
she
was
can
just
throw
too much.
hands.
Hmm.
Bobby likes to throw hands. I mean, why you didn't throw hands? Like, I feel like this was the one time that had they had to fight. It was almost like the Kevin fight, Kevin and Curtis.
Hmm.
It was acceptable. This was another time because the
I
chick
think
sitting
she
there
only,
like, and I get it. The chick was like, "Hey, I'm just a friend. I'm not. I don't know what's going on. He didn't tell me all this."
Hmm.
But as you continue to like grab him and touch him and go in the bathroom with him, you deserve to
Hmm.
get hands put on you after that.
Okay.
agreed. I think the only reason why Bobby didn't do it is because she was, focused on her sister, on Taylor. If it wasn't for that, I think Bobby would have went on ahead and done it because she was such an because it's hard to go out there and do it, and then you got your sister here, an emotional, distraught wreck, and I'm like,
Oh, that's the best time to do it. Let her get some of those emotions off. But
She didn't get
real
him off
quick,
the
I
right
want to
way.
welcome, hey guys, I want to welcome Lena real
Hey,
quick up to the panel.
Lena.
Hey, Lena, thank you for
Hey
coming
Lena.
y'all,
up.
I'm packaging orders right now. I just want to pop up here.
Oh, of course, girl, you got
Yeah,
some
well, we
tea.
appreciate it. We appreciate it.
yes.
So the next couple that we were going to talk about was going to be Eris and Cameron. Or do you want to add anything to Chance and Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she's with him. She even mentioned like that she was doing better before she got with him, so she knows she can do it on her own. I'm like, girl, you need to leave him. But we know allegedly today they're still together, so she
Mm-hmm.
didn't leave him. But no, he's terrible, especially like keeping it from her that he lost the job. And I don't know, we're still on 49, so I'm not gonna say too much about that yet. But
Mm-hmm.
honey, no.
Facts.
I feel you. Yep. He was just doing the most. They said, "Oh, I would have been so toxic on him." Oh.
I know. I wish I could have like went into her body and just acted for her.
Yeah,
I'm like, it was so many things that you should have said at that moment.
yeah. I would have came up. Hey, look, Taylor, I'm your adoptive sister. Let me tell you how to handle this right
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
real
And then be like, you shut up. You
quick.
and then just went off on him. And if she had busted in, then that's when she probably get a little mush or something. I don't know. I'd have got kicked off the show that day, but it would have happened because I'd have been like, look, all of that was warranted. So you might not get kicked off because old boy punched old boy and he get kicked. So yeah, warranted.
Hey, so Lena, do you want to tell us about who got into your DMs?
Yeah, so and it's crazy because like I rarely even check my DMs because I get so many of them, it'd be overwhelming. But like I decided to check my DMs for the first time in like a few days, And I saw it, I was like, this looked like Kim. I was like, is this the real Kim? So I went to his page and it was actually him. And I was like, what the? And it said, you're a great inspiration, kid. Keep it up. So then I responded and I was like, oh my goodness, I watch you every week. Thank you so much. And I was like, can you tell Eris I said hi? And then I didn't check to see if he responded actually, because this was like 2 days ago. I didn't check to see if he responded until I literally just told y'all that he said something. And I went back to check to see if he responded, and he literally responded like 15 minutes ago. And he was like, she said, hey, and bless you or something like that. So I'm like, what? Let me find out.
Okay, Eris may be checking you out too as well.
Wait, no, not like that. Like she's
not like that, but like she may watch your stuff as well. You know.
Yeah,
she does music. Content. She does music too, so he could be looking at it from that aspect too, being her situation plus her music, plus she has a small business owner, and plug that girl.
I'm like, look, y'all about to be my favorite couple now.
Yeah.
I just really said they were one of my favorite couples.
Yeah, they've really grown on me.
They've grown on me too, for sure.
Especially after the season finale. Yeah, they grew on me a lot.
Yeah. Hey, so let's jump into Eris and Cameron. Okay. So in this episode, Eris's dad comes to visit. Alrighty. Here we go. I'm over here acting thirsty again about her daddy. Daddy!
He looks like don't he look like what's his name? The football player who had the Bronco and he killed his wife, that white woman. OJ. Don't he look like OJ?
You think so?
Really?
I think so.
I say he like OJ.
I think he looked just like him.
But you know, OJ used to be fine.
Ooh.
Yeah. I said, well, back in the day, way back in the day. Like I was a little girl when he was fine.
I must have been not born.
No, you probably weren't. You may not have been.
Ain't nothing about OJ till he did that little chase, so I don't know.
And yeah, so Eris' dad, he comes to visit. So they sit down and they talk, Eris's dad and Cameron, right? And so Eris's dad ends up telling Cameron that he feels like they should wait to have kids and that they've rushed along a lot of things. So then Cameron's like, But he doesn't reveal that Eris is actually pregnant. He doesn't do that. All right, so we see Eris, Lena, and her dad. They go to like an ice cream shop and they're talking. And so Eris reveals to her dad that she's pregnant and also the baby's name. So it's funny because the dad was like, Charlie, isn't that a boy name? And, you know, she's just like, no, Dad, that's not a boy's name. It seemed like Lena's really excited. Daddy is not as excited. But I mean, he's still respectful or whatever. And we find out that Cameron's sisters are on their way to come and visit as well. And so, okay. And so when they make it back home, we see a scene with Eris and Cameron where they're kind of like going through baby stuff. Looks like they're kind of trying to get the baby's room together. And so he tells her that he wants her to have a discussion with his sisters because they felt some type of way that she didn't come to the get together that they had. And she was like, I wasn't feeling well. And he was like, oh, well, I told them you just didn't want to come. I was like, that still bothers me because he should have told them that she wasn't feeling well. Because the way he said it, I would have been offended too. And so, you know, she tells him she will talk to his sisters, you know, so she can try to smooth things over. All right, any thoughts on Eris and Cameron? Jerome? I can't hear you.
My bad. I was using telepathy. As a dad, first off, getting married and not telling me, that's a big strike right there. And now y'all meet up, and I already don't like the idea of, you know, I'm like, hey, maybe we should wait on having a kid because it's like you kind of rush things already with the whole getting married thing. Mm-hmm. So when my daughter comes now and tells me, you have to accept it because there's nothing you can do. You can't exactly. It's not like an oven. You can take a cake out, put it in the refrigerator, and finish baking it later. You kind of got to deal with it at this point.
Can't really do that with a cake either.
And as for the daughters for Lena, I like when she said that she just wanted to make sure she wasn't forgotten about. And that was good. I was glad they had that talk because that's what a lot of kids kind of feel, especially now. First, you got a stepdad coming in, and then now a new baby's coming along, and you worry about whether they're gonna look at this is the family now because this is my blood kid, and if I'm gonna be any different. So I'm glad they did address that early and not later on. I'm glad, and when she is so mature. I just got to say, she is so mature-minded. She's still a kid at heart, but she's mature-minded for her age. I guess that comes a lot of times having to travel by yourself so they can hang out, go hang out at a place so they can argue, hang out, and have fun for yourself. I know I'm wrong, but yeah. But I'm glad to see her. I'm glad to see her a little more in the episode now, rather than seeing her going away somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel from this point on, they just need to be more open. And because if you're gonna do it. Stand on it 10 toes down. Don't be quiet about everything. But that's all I got.
Okay.
I don't really got nothing extra, I guess, for this.
What about Daddy?
Well, so I didn't see Daddy the way you saw him. I still feel like he
looked like an old thug.
She wants to like he looks. No, I wasn't like Daddy didn't catch my attention because he had that old jersey on. It made him look older. I'm like, yeah. But I feel like, well, I guess the one part I would say that got me was when he was like, "Don't rush and have the babies," and he like, "That baby already got a baby in him." I'm like, that was funny to me. But other than that, like, and then her telling the dad, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, Charlie, I got used to that." I mean, because that to me that is a adjustment to name a girl Charlie, and then you got especially if you're a traditional person. So I get where the dad was coming from with that too, but it's just funny to me, like the dad, like he really he want them to do it slow, and they moving like sonic speed. So it's like, all right, you just gotta get on the train or get off, because at this point they've already done the things you said don't do. So we'll just see how he does. But I feel like maybe now, if the dad is actually able to be in Cameron's life, maybe he can be a good influence. Because I don't know if they've ever said, like, did Cameron have his dad or he didn't have his dad?
No, he said he didn't have his dad.
Oh, his dad died, right? Because they had the picture. Was his dad died when he was young, or when he was in prison?
I don't know.
He died or he was in prison, but I remember he did say he wasn't like raised by like his dad.
Yeah, I remember they had the cutout at the wedding. But the one good thing is this is a chance to get a new dad, because that's still your father-in-law. And that person, if you can grow that bond, can be that dad that you're missing. So it could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. And I do like how Cameron, like how he responded to him. Because he could have probably like been like, yeah, I ain't feeling that on some things that dad was saying to him, but or he could have been like, oh, it's already a bun and it's already a baby and that baby, but he ain't say nothing. He just like, okay, you don't know. Oh well, But I really didn't have too much for this episode. Not this episode. Next episode.
Okay, Lena, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I agree with JC. Like, I think that was like super disrespectful and inconsiderate to leave him out of the wedding. And I don't even know why she didn't say anything. I don't know, like, if she was afraid that he wasn't going to approve of Cam or what. But knowing you eventually have to tell him that, you got married, and knowing how he might feel, like, that would make me feel kind of sad if I had a daughter and she didn't include me in the wedding or tell me about it. Did the mom know?
You know what? She never speaks about her mom, right? Does anybody remember her speaking about her mom?
Yeah, well, that's kind of weird that she left him out of that, but
Yeah, no
I think
mom.
he's handling everything really well. It seems like he's adjusting to Cam already, and you
Mm.
know, and Cam, he seems to understand, that what they did was wrong. But I feel like y'all too old. Y'all should think ahead sometimes. But yeah, I think that's crazy also because like my name is Lena and their daughter's name is Lena, and then they
Mhm.
happen to be the ones to connect with me. Like that's just crazy how the universe works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, you got a new bestie.
Right. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay. All right, so I guess we move on to the next couple. We had Puppy and Amber. Whoa, this was full with them. All right, so as we know, Amber is wanting to break up with TC. All right, and so Puppy tells Queen kind of what has happened with TC and Amber. Um, TC, okay, so let me say it like this. I like the friend group that Amber has. She's like, hey, I need to get out of this house and I need y'all to come and help me. They show up. She's put sticky notes like me, or whatever. She's like, hey, just grab the stuff that says me. Let's get me out of here. They showed up. They started doing it, was asking a bunch of questions. She's like, hey, pack up my closet. They go pack up the closet. They are truly down for her to help her. So all her friends, they basically show up. Um, so TC shows up while they're packing. So I thought he was actually going to make a scene, but he really didn't. He did let Amber say some things off of her chest. Like she was saying that TC said he felt like she was deflecting when it came to the baby situation or whatever. She's expressing to him how lonely she has felt. Um, he basically says to her that her drinking annoys him and he wished she would stop. Okay, wait a minute. Am I mixing up the episodes? I think I might be a little bit here.
I think you're ahead because when
Uh,
he came, he hadn't even come in yet.
okay, so yeah, so TC has not come. I'm sorry, guys. I started mixing up some things there. All right, and then okay, so Amber actually ends up going outside and she talks to her mom. And how did we get back to Queen and Puppy talking about the rent?
I don't remember him talking
Okay,
about that.
actually, I know where I messed up. Okay, so Amber and TC had a fight. This was like after Amber had been over there. Puppy had been at their house. And so that's when he was saying that, she was basically deflecting and he was saying that she had been drinking and that his drinking annoys him. She actually ended up calling her mom and she talked to her mom about what's going on with her and TC. All right. And then we see a scene of Queen and Puppy and they discuss Queen wants her rent money. And Puppy doesn't have a job. So Puppy is actually going through her thing. She has some designer items. She talks about how she has a shopping addiction and she's going to start selling some of her stuff, and that's how she's going to pay her rent. All right. And so then the scenes go back to Amber and TC's house. Amber is there by herself and she's saying that she's upset that no one is cleaning up the house. So they pan the house. It is junky. Um, she says that TC told her he's not even attracted to her anymore. And I'm sorry, Puppy had came to the house and Amber was saying these things to Puppy. All right, and so they call Queen and they start calling friends, and the friends are coming. They just okay. They're dropping what they have going on to come and help her move. I'm sorry. I know I butchered this section right here,
Okay.
guys. I'm so sorry. But
Okay.
any thoughts on Amber and TC? I think because I just kept thinking about the next episode and where we're
Yeah.
going with it, that it just messed me all the way up.
Yeah. Lena, you want to go or I'll go if you don't.
You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So with that whole thing, I actually do like how, like you said, her group of friends. Well, okay, first going back to Queen and Puppy. Queen
Mm-hmm.
ain't playing no games. She walked in that room
No.
like it's too much. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know even in my room I got too much. So I wish somebody can come in and be like, that's too much. Get rid of some. Because I mean, what she's doing is actually a good idea. Like she's making money off of the stuff she has, which is smart. Like if you don't need it, you don't wear it, sell it. Me, I just donate my stuff, but I think what she's doing is smart because I don't got like high end stuff. I'm donate mine, but so I'm like I like Queen because Queen keeping order in her house. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We probably everybody can learn a little thing or two from Queen because Queen is like, yeah, don't play them games. You gonna stay here? Here's the rules. I like that. And she even said that actually when Puppy first moved in, it was like, whoa, what's all this? And she's like, I know I got a lot of stuff. She was like, yeah, like basically too much. And then when it comes to Puppy, or not Puppy, but Amber, I was like literally like, oh my God, like when TC pulled up, obviously I knew like we was gonna do that. Like, you know, he gonna as soon as you think he's not coming, or if you like, oh, hurry up and pack, we know TC coming. But I'm proud of her for being like, you know what, I can't do it because she's unhappy. And just like Puppy left, like leave if you just that unhappy. It almost seems like everything was hers though. I was like, dang, like if you looked around, it was like me. So I'm like, dang, this dude gonna be sitting up in an empty house with like, I ain't know if he had a bed left after she put the me's on it. So yeah, that's probably like all I got right now, but I think the next episode I got more.
Yeah. Hey, any other thoughts on Puppy, Amber, and TC?
I'm gonna have to hop up off here, y'all. I gotta go to Ross and shop for an outfit for my business presentation tomorrow.
Go girl.
Okay, but thank you for
Good
coming
luck.
up and for
Of
sharing.
course.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm gonna come back on here and watch this whole live. I watch every one of y'all lives from beginning to end every time. So
Oh, thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank
Look,
you for
next
the
season.
support.
Look, next season,
Yes.
maybe we got another person.
yes, girl. Y'all
You can
know
always
every time y'all
you
do
talk
it,
about
I'm working. So that's usually what it is. But
okay.
but
What
yeah,
Well,
the
I
you
love
have
to
an open invitation.
I appreciate it. Thanks for being so welcoming. Thank you for your
You're welcome.
hospitality. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, Jerome. So, what do you think of Puppy, Amber, and TC?
I don't have too much more. I like the idea of oh gosh, I can't think of her name right off.
Queen?
Puppy. Yeah, Queen. I like the idea. Queen seems like the backbone of it all. I like Queen.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Queen can be there. And then when Amber was feeling her way, she put the list out. All those were very good. I like that. The only thing I don't like as far as Amber goes is
Skin tight. Okay. Well, let us know which couple you're most excited to see next season.
yes,
Sorry, Jerome.
definitely. Oh no, definitely. It's when it's like she just gets set off and hysterical about the smallest things. I don't know if it comes from the drinking that causes her to be so short fused without being able to properly talk about certain situations.
Yeah, I think it's the liquor.
And so it kind of makes it hard to talk because it's like if I feel like it almost puts you on eggshells. If I say the wrong thing, this is what the response I'm going to get. So I'm just kind of going to be quiet. So like a little bit that I attribute to TC's not really communicating like he should. But I just thought it was weird to do it while he was gone. I could imagine if he had came later and just the house was empty. So I'm glad that he was pulling up at the time. I can't wait to see what happens once he goes in and sees everything and sees everyone there. But also too, everybody was like, all right, get this. Like, all right, we got it. No problem. We don't care if you come home. I don't care what they say. We're doing what you say, but we got this. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. So Skin Tight, yeah, Derek and Monique, they're a lot of people's favorite. For a while, they were my favorite, but now, like this episode and the next episode, they weren't doing as much. But I still like them. I do like them. I do think they're entertaining. Brittany and Marcelino. It really wasn't nothing there. I'm gonna go through them real quick. Um, we see Marcelino. He's reflecting on his life and his marriage that he's had with Brittany. Brittany asks, I'm sorry, Marcelino asks Brittany to renew their vows. She agrees. That was it. So I don't know if y'all want to add something to that, you can, but I feel like that wasn't. It really wasn't.
The kids looked happy. Okay, I
Yeah,
just wanted to say something.
yes, the kids did look happy. Alrighty, so at this point right here is where we're gonna jump into episode 50. All right, so we're gonna start off with Lindsay and Blaine. Whoo, Lindsay and Blaine. All right. Um, we see it. The episode opens up with Lindsay and Blaine. We see like a dump fire going on. Blaine is supposedly at their new house. I'm sure Reese will have plenty to say about the new house. And so we see him throwing stuff around basically into the dump fire, and I think he's just throwing things in anger as well. So Lindsay calls him and asks him to come home. He goes back to their rental house. Lindsay's there waiting for him. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. On the way to the rental house, his lawyer calls him and says, "Hey, I'm working on getting the ankle monitor off of you because you've done so well so far. But you give me $3,000 more, and I can make that happen for you." So he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll try to get you the money as soon as I can." So he makes it to the house with Lindsay, and he walks into the house, and the first thing like Lindsay is saying is like, "I don't hear you telling me anything you did wrong." I was like, "What? This girl here." Let me stop for Blaine. So Blaine, he actually ends up going off. He tells Lindsay everything that he's feeling, which I loved it because I said it's about time he stood up for himself. Because I feel like he just allowed Lindsay to talk to him any kind of way and run all over him. And so he went smooth off on Lindsay. He said some things I was not expecting, and it caught me off guard. I started clutching my pearls. I was like, "Oh, where you going, Blaine?" And so he was like, he starts telling her that, look, when you got out of prison, who was there to pick you up? You needed money. Who was helping you out with your daughter? He started listing all the things that he has done for this woman, which normally I don't like for people to do that. I feel like you do something of the kindness of your heart. That's it. You don't need to list it off. But I get it because she's dragging him like he ain't ish. And so he goes so far as he tells her, "I don't have a sweet little JJ that men will send me money so I can pay my bills." I was like, "Oh my God, I love it. Where's my popcorn at?" That's how I felt. I was like, "Tell it, Blaine, tell it." And so he tells her he doesn't like the way that she addresses him and talks to him. He doesn't like it. And then he starts crying. That's how he was talking from his heart. After he got all that off his chest, he started crying. And so she tries to hug him and stuff, but then she was like, "I still need help. I don't know how much longer I can carry all of this financially." But I'm like, if you break up with him, you're gonna be carrying it all by yourself anyway. But I just feel like it's unfair. You got with a man that was in construction, and their jobs are not always 12 months year round. So I don't know. That's where I just feel like she's not very understanding to the situation. Alrighty, and so that was Lindsay and Blaine. Thoughts on Lindsay and Blaine?
Man. Ugh, where do I begin? First of all, Lindsay, now we get why, she made it like it's her choice or is Deontay's loss. As I've always said, Deontay like dodged a bullet.
Yeah,
Lindsay is crazy. She does not know how to hold herself accountable for anything. And I feel like Blaine explained the reason that he feels the way he feels, because he said, like, when she got out of jail, when she everything, like, he was there for her. He paid the bills, he did this, he did that. Now that he's having a rough patch, she's like, "I can't do it alone. How am I supposed to do it?" But he did it alone when you got out of jail, and
yeah,
he gave you a job. So it's not like you went out and did nothing on your own prior to him giving you that job. He gave you a job, and then then you were able to do it on your own because you already had stepping stones for a job, you know what I'm saying, to like hold you over until. But again, like you said, he's working in construction. So what is he supposed to do when construction is slow? Nothing. You know what I mean? It's nothing he can do. She was making it like he's not motivated, but I'm like, but this dude then did like, I don't know. To me, he doesn't come off as unmotivated. Maybe we don't know the things that happen outside of what they show on the show, but based off what they show on the show, I don't feel like he's unmotivated. I just think he was
Right.
like really probably stressed about his situation with his jail time, and that probably became consuming. And he was like, okay, what am I gonna do? A, B, and C, and then he chose the whole ankle bracelet, all this, you know what I'm saying? And it probably led up to him coming off as being somebody who's not trying. You ain't trying to find another job. You ain't doing this, but he really just trying to find a way. Like, how do I stay out of jail?
Right.
So,
And then it's like she has these unrealistic expectations. I
mhm.
feel like she knows he is a felon. Right now,
And I
he's currently on house arrest. He can't give you the life of a doctor's wife.
yeah. And I do feel like she took some of like what happened in that the what couple episodes ago with the daughter. Remember how
Hmm.
she was punching the garage and all that stuff? Like your anger with how the daughter reacted, you taking that out on him as well. And
Yeah.
that's not his fault. That's not his child, nor is it his fault. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe he could have chose a better place since he was taking two females, but maybe he looked at what Lindsay may like to do and assumed the daughter would too. I'm not mad at him for that. Maybe once the daughter was like, "Oh no, I'm scared to do it," or "I don't want to do it," you know, maybe choose a different place. But if you already paid for it, then it's like, all right, we'll just chill out right here. We'll do this and whatever, you know. However it went down, but either way, I feel like the daughter's like attitude played a part on how he act. He like she responded to him too because she was all like, "I'm doing everything," but it's like, no, your mom is actually doing a lot of it because your mom got custody of your daughter. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, you're paying bills in a house that if he wasn't there, you'd be paying on your own anyways.
Hmm.
So she was getting on my nerves, and then the fact that back when she was with Deontay, all the way up until now, every time she gets mad, she's like, "Come pick me up, I'm leaving." So when he was like, "I'm so sick of her leaving," every time it gets hard, and he was like hugging her and was like, "You know, you keep leaving." He's like, "I love you, but," I was like, he's like, "But I need you, and I need Kaylee, whatever her name, Kaylee, Kylie,
Miley.
whatever. Kylie, I need y'all." And I was like, "No, no, no!" You fell back into the trap, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, she turned around and was like, "But I also need help with this." Now, mind you, yes, you can say that because you do need help with the bills, but you do need to listen to the fact that he said, "You coming to me when I'm having a rough patch, but I took care of you all the way up until now. I put all my money into that trailer, which." Hopefully they didn't put a whole lot into it.
How
Hopefully not a
much
whole
money do
lot.
you think they put into it, Reese?
2,000,
I know I'm being messy.
2,000. Hopefully not more than
Jerome,
like 2 to 5,000.
how much money, Jerome? How much money do you
Uh,
think they put into the trailer?
if you're counting the gas where they picked up the spare boards they found laying around the dumpster at Home Depot,
He
I
being
believe.
messy too. Messy.
Nah, it don't look like they put a whole lot into it. But you know what? In all fairness, though, they've had to pay a lot of fees. So
Okay.
I mean,
uh,
they probably
Y'all
did put a
were
lot in.
a lot
Some
nicer, and
thousands for
y'all
sure.
gave them a bigger budget than what I got.
Oh,
I feel
2,000
like
was bigger?
I felt like they spent a solid 500. Most of that going towards. I did see a toilet out in the yard, so apparently they bought a new toilet.
But
So
you
I
gotta
don't know how
think,
much those run. Maybe about 2 or 300. And
they bought
then
the land.
okay, so the land was probably about $50, right?
No, the land is worth way more than $50. Now, see, now if you want to say what they paid money for was the land, it definitely was not the trailer. It was
Yeah.
the land. Because the trailer could have been to me condemned and put another trailer on there. But if y'all want to fix it up, do what y'all got to do because y'all run construction. But for the land, yes, good deal. The trailer, nah.
yeah,
But
you could have really bought a fixer upper, put it on the lot, pulled that one out, scrapped that one, took off the parts you needed, dropped the trailer that was a good fixer upper, and just added from there
I
and
mean,
have
they
a
could
better
have
place for the
sold that.
same money.
Yeah, they could have sold the fixer-upper for scraps and got some money, to put
I
on
don't
the
even know.
down payment of
It
another
was
truck.
just scraps. Like, was it?
Oh yeah.
Well,
It looked like
yeah,
they
it was
had put
already
all
scrapped.
of
So
it
I
in
would say
scraps.
just pull off whatever you can use on what you get brought in there. That's a better fixer-upper.
He used those scraps for your new stuff.
Yeah.
That mess is all straight scraps, period. But you know what? I thought he was at the current house when he set that fire and was like just knocking everything into the fire. I was like, oh snap, he gonna burn some stuff up. Like he better be careful. And when she said come see me at the house, I was like, oh, he's at the other house. But he left. Did he leave that fire burning?
Oh no, that's a
That
good
trailer
question.
might not even be
He
there no
might
more.
have.
Next
He
season,
might
the
have
trailer
because
might be gone.
maybe he has some insurance, so maybe he left the fire going, hoping a breeze would take it on over there.
That was crazy. I was like, dude, you left, but we didn't see you put that fire out. I'm like, oh snap, this is going to be interesting. We'll see next, July? We'll see.
Yeah, I did not see what date it returns. Is it July? In July?
July. I don't know if it's going to be something in between, but July.
Mhm.
But that's all I got. Lindsay is extremely toxic, and she does not listen. And Blaine could do better because I don't know. I just feel like he could. I took his side this time. She made me mad.
Lindsay has a mindset of one of my favorite words, which is mono-idealistic. Everything she thinks about is her ideals that deal with her, affect her, about her. To see him in the beginning, I almost felt that. It's like because she's another person that has that personality that flips, and Blaine is more laid back. So it's like he doesn't like confrontation. So I'm gonna avoid certain stuff because I don't want her to leave. Like he said later on that he's used to people just walking out on him. And in there, he's just hitting the tree and everything. He's just like letting it all out. This is like the final straw broken. I felt that for a man to get to that point, yes, he's like, I can't do it to the person that I want to do it to. I'm letting it out. You got to be at point. And she did that. And then for her to call, hey, come by here, sounding all chipper. Hey, come by, And he's like, all right. I'm under the impression she's like, you know what, baby, blase, blah, blase, blah. It's like, what you been doing? Oh, I was working on the other place. Nothing.
Yeah, he
Sound
walked
like nothing
right
to me.
into that. He did. He walked right into that.
I'm like, and I agree with him. You had me leave what I was doing for this. I don't see no change. I don't see. You ain't bringing stuff. Well, I ain't know I'm gonna see. And so then he sat there and says, and she was like, she was sounding good. Yeah, I got the call today. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. 3,000. That's what I'm talking. This man, and you fussed at him both times. I agree. Yeah, say something to you about the other thing, but you basically made him feel like less of a person because he chose to not go to jail, and now for making this where he can get the ankle monitor taken off. I understood his point. When she sat there saying, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. But I guess when he said his part, that was him throwing it in her face. Sometimes when people throwing stuff in your face, they ain't throwing it in your face. That means that you showing lack of appreciation. And you got to be reminded.
Right. That's why I said I understood why he did it. Normally I'd be like, he was wrong for that. He shouldn't have did that. But no, I totally get where he came from with it. And she needed to be put in her place.
She did. She really did. And I'm glad he sat there and spoke up because theoretically speaking, that's how she did. I'm paying the bills. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So what were you doing? Throwing up everything you was doing. Now, him not cleaning, that didn't require that, and he told her the truth. You always run. I need stability. I don't need somebody that's going to always run. It'd be different if he was lying, if he was cheating, if he was making you choose between if he was sitting there choosing between you and another girl, and he had to see which one. Oh, she did do that, didn't she? Yeah. So, so yeah, none of that stuff. And I bet you, what's his name, Dante or
Deontay.
Deontay? He's sitting back like right now.
So let me ask you, what did you think of when Blaine told her, "I don't have a sweet little to get men to send me money"?
I thought that was 100. That was a reality check to her. Listen, you talk like I can do the same things you can. It don't happen that way. I'm a guy. Women just don't come throwing stuff. You got to be some special kind of guy, maybe like Michael or Cam or something like that to get that kind of attention. Blaine ain't getting that kind of attention. But you can be the typical woman out here and you'll get a man all that. Oh, you look cute. Here you go. Here you go. You better accept your pretty privilege. So yeah, it irritated me a little bit.
No, I totally understand. All right, so next was TC, Amber, and Puppy. All right, so TC has come home and he has basically come home to Amber moving out. All right. So him and Amber, they end up having some words in their living room. And Amber reveals that the night before, TC has said that he's not attracted to her anymore. And he blamed her for the baby, like it's her fault that it's her drinking that caused her liver not to function properly, and for her not to be able to have the baby. He had even said that he had basically named their child, and then she came back and was like, "Well, this is what I need to do, terminate this pregnancy." So he did say those things, which I was kind of like, okay. But they continue to argue. She tells TC, basically how she feels, and she says she wants her name off the bills at the house. And also, apparently, I guess she either co-signed for the truck or she put the truck in her name. But she was saying she wants her name off of his truck. He has like a week. That's when TC actually went back at her, and he's like, "No, you're not taking my truck," because she said if her name's not off the truck in a week, if she's going to take the truck. And
Mm-hmm.
he got upset. He did not like that. He told her, "I am the one paying for the truck." And she's like, "Because I make you make the payments. That's why." And I was like, I think you're telling us a little too much now. But anyway, and so she gets so upset that she has to walk away, and she kind of goes into the bathroom. She's like, "Turn the cameras off. I need some space or whatever." And so Puppy and Queen, they try to comfort her. Now I gotta give Queen her props because have y'all noticed Queen has lost some weight, but Queen looks good. All right,
Yeah.
so that was basically Amber and TC this week. Thoughts?
Woo, them two.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot. So I'm not gonna say I agree with her getting up in his face and all that stuff, but I get it. He's yelling at her, she yelling at him, whatever. Cause I was kind of like, ooh, she lucky he ain't the type that's like crazy. Probably like, what's the other dude, Eric?
Yeah.
I think Eric would respond like that. But let me stop.
Now
Cause
Eric will
that's
probably would have started
insinuating.
choking her. Mm-hmm.
That's insinuating that he is what we think he is. So I ain't gonna say that. But again, you look back at her support system. She got it made, like, because even with him showing up, they were like, "Oh, I think we got to still look in the closet." She was like, "Yeah, go to the closet, go to the closet." Some people might have been like, "You know what? I don't want you part of this. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
sit outside." But they
I'll
were
help you
like,
later. Call me back when he leaves.
"Yeah,"
That would
but
have
they
been
were like, "Let's go to the closet, finish packing." So I was like, "That's a heck of a support." Hold on. That's a heck of a support system. So, so I was like, that part is awesome. That is awesome. And then when he came in and he started crying, I'm like, dude, why now? Like, I get why now because it makes sense. It does make sense why now. But it's like, dude, your whole relationship is destroyed already. And I get you might not have a support system, you might not know, you know what I'm saying? But that's not her fault. It's not her fault that she had a support system and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So everything that he said probably could have saved the relationship, but you said it too late. And I was actually proud of her for still standing her ground and leaving, because she could have been like, "You finally said what I wanted to hear. I'm gonna stay." She didn't. She was like, "I don't deserve this." Because honestly, like the way the house, if when she came back, there was like junk on the floor and all that. Like to me, um, unless you're like a baby, a toddler, anything over like like lower elementary school, and I don't think his kids is that young.
Oh, they're
Like you know,
teenagers.
that's what I'm saying. You knew you spilled that on the floor, like that big
Yeah,
old
because
bubble of something.
it looked like barbecue sauce was on the
Yeah,
floor and stuff.
yeah.
I
Like
was,
to me, those are obvious things. That's not like something you like sat in it and you walking around like, oh, I didn't know those on my clothes. No, you know you like went to go put barbecue sauce, but yeah, you put it all on the floor, or you dropped the whole thing of barbecue sauce and you just left it. So for me, I'm like, okay, you pretty much cleaning after a bunch of grown men, and they're not respecting the fact that you're doing this. They're actually kind of taking advantage of it in a sense. So I'm glad she decided to leave. I don't think TC is like just a horrible person. I just think like he does not know how to deal with his feelings, and until he gets to that point, he probably shouldn't be in a serious relationship, because when serious things happen, you don't know how to deal with them.
yeah. Or
So
he needs to find someone more like him. You know, because I feel like even with him saying he's not attracted to Amber anymore, I realize that can happen if your significant other gains weight and they become a size that you don't
mhm.
like anymore. But there's ways that you can say that without hurting that person. You know,
Yeah.
you can encourage her to go to the gym, or hey, babe, you
Mhm.
know how sexy you looked when you were two clothes
Yeah.
sizes smaller or something. But
Yeah.
I think he doesn't.
Or he can even be like, you'll feel healthier. You
Yeah,
know, you'll like you'll feel you have more energy. But the way he said it was kind of like it all kept coming off disrespectful, and it might not be his intention,
yeah,
but
and that was
it's so
something else
blunt.
because, like, when she said it, it's like he didn't even say, "Well, no, I didn't mean it that way" or nothing. He just was standing there like,
Yeah.
"But I ain't," you
He
know.
said, "Well, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to do this. So it is what it is." And to me, that's not. It is what it is. Like you not being able to or understand how to talk to her. Maybe you can't talk to her. It's not. It is what it is. Like if you didn't even try. Like you didn't even try. So yeah, to me, at least try. And then if you can't get through, then it is what it is. But you didn't even try. That's what made me upset about him. But I'm glad she left. And kudos to Queen, because who got friends like that where you can just be like, well, my relationship failed. I'm back at your house. This failed. I'm back at your house. This, and this not going good. I'm back at your house. I was like, shoot. I don't know that anybody got friends like Queen is the MVP. Queen's the real MVP. Because she herself been in jail and all that stuff, but yet she still can be the helper and the, you know what I'm saying? She the
Mm,
MVP. I like Queen.
mm,
That's all I got.
okay.
Um, I'm gonna sound mostly like Team TC during this,
What?
just to give a different perspective. I agree with Amber. I agree with what she did. I agree with her leaving. I don't agree with TC and what he said to her, but I don't think it was just about her looks. If you look at it, her looks did change. Her after the baby, her mood did change. She did become more volatile, more whiny, and as well as and snappy. And it was like every little thing. Like if we go back to the day when they went and Puppy came to the house, and even before then, when he picked when he picked Amber up when she was out with Puppy, and they sitting at the table, and she just instantly he's just talking, and she just instantly just flies off. I'm like, those things become unattractive. So I don't think it's just the look, but the attitude, the drinking picked up. Those things can also
Yeah,
change how you see someone. So I really don't think it was truly just based on weight, but just to change in the way. Now, as far as when he came in, I'll give him credit because I know I came in. I get we have problems and you're gonna leave, but to me, I'm looking like you tried to sneak out this house before I got home and take everything. I'm be looking like, what the heck? But he was very chill. This is how you know TC is a chill person. You name how many other people gonna walk in, even though you're taking your stuff out. It's just like I'm leaving, and you see people in the house that don't stay there taking stuff out. Let's flip the script. Let's see. Let's say it's your man doing that. How many guys gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, what are y'all doing? What's going on?" You're flipping like, "What the heck?" And you make sure that everything that got me on it is yours and not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad, and I'm also glad that he finally opened up and just listening to how he was talking. It took him so long to do it. But like I said, Amber has a support system. So when Amber kept going on and on about it, I'm just going to give a little flip to what Reese said. It's because Amber's used to that having someone. So she's not understanding why he can't open up as freely as she can. But when you don't have, when you don't have someone, it's harder for you to do, especially if you're someone who doesn't like confrontation. And there were a couple of little times where he tried to start talking, and then Amber just like, no, but you don't see it my way, and you don't see how I feel. And I'm like, so, and he shut down. If you notice, he got quiet. He shut down at that point. And you can't expect everyone to know how to deal with, just like Amber didn't know how to deal with him. TC didn't know how to deal with her. Now, he should have been there more. Like when the abortion and stuff happened, he should have been there.
Yeah, he should have been the one driving her there. Yeah, I
Exactly.
totally agree with that.
110%. So I'm not saying he's definitely with fault, but I'm kind of glad they're apart, and I'm glad they talk because they could make good friends. But their personalities don't mix, and I think not only does TC have to work on himself to be able to talk to someone else, I think Amber has to fight her demons that has her drinking and reacting before she can even talk to someone else. So she's going to take them same pains and them same stressors that she deals with and project them onto the next person.
Yeah, but one thing I can say I did like about their conversation is Amber said to him, like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be with you anymore. She was like, I still want us to be friends, but we just can't be together like this. I did respect that she said that. Like,
Yes, I respect that, and also it was one other thing. You know, when y'all were saying about how he said how he wasn't attracted to her and how blunt he was. I don't agree with how blunt he was, but it also makes you think too that Amber and Puppy also are blunt people as well. So they say things without thinking of how it comes out. And we see many people that do that.
yeah.
It's just a thing that people do, and it's not any different now because of this scenario. It's wrong when it's done regardless. And I think people in general, either one of them should think that when someone's going through something, be able to talk it through instead of just being blunt or that's just how I am. And if that's how you are, you understand other people are going to be that way too, and they're going to come this way to you also. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Okay, so our next couple was Sarah and Sean. So Sarah has decided to go through with this boob job. And so we see Sarah and Sean are talking, and Sean is feeling a bit insecure about this, which I get it because it's like, why all of a sudden do you want to do this boob job? And so, she's trying to reassure him that, she's doing it for herself and not for, any other reason. And so we see them, they're in the car and they are headed to drop the baby off. But Sean tells her, I don't want to see your mom. And she's just like, well, you're going to have to see my mom because when we come back to pick the baby up, I can't pick the baby up. So you've got to pick the baby up. All right. So Sarah gets out the car and she takes the baby to her mom. Her mom was a little out of pocket for my liking, even though this is Sean and we know I don't like Sean. She called Sean a little bitch and said she could punch him in the face. Yeah, so they drop the baby off and then they leave. And then the next scenes is after Sarah has had the surgery. So they're in the car headed back to go get the baby. And so Sean does pick up their baby without any incident. And I realized, I said, I guess Sarah's little girl still lives with Sarah's mom, I guess, because that's the way it looked. But I don't know. Maybe she was keeping her overnight because Sarah had the surgery. And it's funny because Sarah has like a reflection where she's like, sometimes I wonder what it would be like if I was with my baby daddy. Which I'm like, but you're not. You're married to another man. But whatever. And so, they go back home. And like I said, she can't pick up the baby because she's still sore from her boob job. And so Sean is spending time with the baby. It's nice to see Sean spend time with a child. We don't get to see that, him spend time with his own biological children. So he gives the baby a bath. Sarah talks about how normally she's the one that gives the baby the bath at night. I'm like, oh, I pretty much could have guessed that. I know. So that was their scenes this week. What was your thoughts on Sean and Sarah?
Well, uh, the mama was out of pocket. Playing the
Oh
mama
yeah,
was,
she was. Like I said, I don't even like Sean, but I think you calling him a bitch.
yeah.
Telling me you could punch him in. I'm like, I was just like, that's too much.
I'll come over there and punch him in the face if you need me to. You felt bad about keeping a secret, and I was like, no, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on. All before you was like, daughter, don't do that. And I want him to get over it. Come on, be real. I feel Sean is doing the best he can with the situation he was put in. So there are people who still be sitting here being livid. Now, when they were talking about at the time of the getting the boob job, say, oh, I was on the waiting list. So I want to hurry up and get it done. I could understand that. I would be insecure about that, and not insecure that it's just me being insecure. You're making me feel insecure because you lied, you held stuff up, and now I get to meet Buddy, and Buddy saying I can have you when I can. Now that he came, this is all of a sudden when the boob job comes in. So I get it. I really do get it. Um, the fact she went on ahead and she got it done and see Sean bathing the baby, it shows more and more from that day with the swing, that Sean has really been putting forth that effort since that day to be there and to be a better father to her. He's like, I done messed up the other 5 times. I can do better this time. 6 times the charm, I guess. I just really feel like she is so focused on herself.
She's very self-centered.
Yes, another mono idealistic person. Like give Sean, it's like then when Sean's worried about, well, I know he's worried about it, but it's like she still minimizes the major thing she did to cause all of this, and being like, okay, we can get over it now. I know I did this, but it wasn't that big. It was very big.
Yeah, and then after this, you still had the nerve to say sometimes you think about what it would have been like to have been with your baby daddy.
Yes, that showed me right there. You're still thinking about stuff. That's not me being insecure. You're making me feel insecure. At no point have I heard her say, did I hear her say with confidence, I'm happy where I'm at. Sean, she'll say Sean is a great provider, but she makes that sound so like so minimal. That is major. Do you know after some people get, they get older and get with kids or whatever, and they rather find somebody that can instead of break their bank stack their wallet to make them feel secure. You ain't got to worry about the next meal that's coming from. You got to worry about the losing a roof over your head. You're not having to sit there and have a fixer up a trailer. None of that stuff. But yeah, don't minimize all he does. I mean, if he's sitting here and he's putting everything he makes into the home, and he's not out there buying a truck, a pressure washer for a side job, and buying shots,
Right.
get that man, give Sean his credit. He came a long way. Now, to me, he's earned my respect.
Racy.
So I had to go get my charger. I'm like, ooh, I ain't gonna make it back. All right. So, different opinion.
Okay.
I do agree the mom was being extra. However, the mom has been extra the whole season. Like since she came into from they weren't on Love during lockup, so they started on Love after
Love
lockup.
after lockup. I think is where they
Okay.
started.
The mom was extra back then. So do we really expect less when Sean is giving her the cold shoulder? Like she gonna revert back to who she really is. Like she's been nice to Sean because her and Sean got along, but now that Sean is saying verbally, I'm mad at you and this and that, and then it's being put like, okay, the daughter was the reason that she lied. And in a sense, I feel like he should kind of understand she's gonna take her daughter's side before she take his, unless they had a better relationship than her and her daughter, which they didn't. So I really do feel like you gotta kind of be a little easy on the mom because who wouldn't do that for their child unless
Okay.
you had a better
So
relationship?
okay. So I'm a mom. So this is my thing. Let's say I do something for my son
Hmm?
and I'm on his side. Does that give his wife the right to call me a bitch and say she would hit me in the face? Let's
Your
say
mom.
I helped him cover up cheating on his girlfriend.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say his wife. Does that give her the right to call me a bitch or say she would hit me in the face?
Well, Sean saying I'm not cool with you. I don't agree
Well,
with
like
you and all that
his,
stuff.
his wife could say, "I don't like your mom because she helped you cheat on me." That's one thing, but to
Mhm.
call me a bitch
Yeah,
and
but
to
you talking
say,
about somebody talking about your mom being called a B versus your mom calling somebody else a B.
I'm
Two
not
different
saying my
things.
A
son.
B.
Huh?
I
I
still
said
feel
a
like
B
it's
is
two
a
different
B.
things, though. Yeah, but I'm saying it's still two different things. Like a
How if I
parent can
said
hate
I would
a
if I
parent
help
can
my
hate the person that you with, and the person kind of got just got to deal with it. But when you saying I hate your mom, like sometimes depending on the relationship you have, it's different, and it depends on the relationship she has with her mom. She's close with her mom. Her mom took care of her daughter for the whole time she was in jail, so there's a bond there that Sean can't break with her and her mom.
I
Now,
get that.
I feel like
I,
she's leveling it out by being like, look, I was wrong and I told you to lie. So I told my mom to lie. Be mad at me, not her. Um, because there are cases where parents will do that for their kids. Is it right? No, but would you snitch on your kid? Like you just gotta say, well, I mean, you might, but she wasn't
no,
going
I
to.
wouldn't snitch on them, but I would understand if their significant other felt some type of way about me. I
But
I
she
would
didn't like Sean in the beginning though. So I mean it probably just brought back the ill feelings like I ain't like you anyway. So
I get it. I guess
and
for
I've been
me,
wanting to slap you. I'll slap you now. You acting like a little B. Like I
you
mean, I'm
know,
saying because the mom was, it wasn't like they started out with a great relationship. So
I mean, I got you, but I guess for me, for one, like let's say I'm in the middle of it between my mother and my wife. I'm gonna tell my wife, hey, I am the one that did this. Don't say you hate my mom. And for the other one, you're not gonna. I was like, listen, ma, I get she get on your nerves, but you're not gonna call her a bitch. Now, cause that's the same thing. It's like she at no point is she taking up for him. That's my thing. I would at least check that part. It's like you're not don't gonna say you hate my mom, and mom, you're not gonna sit here and call my wife a B. But go ahead. I'm
so
so sorry.
so I agree the mom was wrong, but again, I'm gonna say she already been like that. Like the mom was like that from the beginning. So I didn't expect nothing else. I didn't expect her to be like all of a sudden she's been nice to Sean, so it's surprising, but at the same time, maybe she been waiting for that moment to snap back on that dude. Like she was
maybe.
like that in the beginning. So what she was like in the beginning, she showed her true self. I'm not surprised that she was acting like that, me personally, because she was like that in the other episode. But like I guess like Sarah could have been like, he really is upset, and not that saying like he's still whiny about whatever. And like she kind of blew it off. I didn't care for that, but it is what it is too. Because I mean, I can't change how she feels. Because I do think that she feels bad for what she did, but she is the cause of everything that happened. So at the end of
Right.
the day, like this dysfunctional relationship you can cause between him and the mom and him and the baby daddy, it's all her fault at the end of the day. Because she She didn't do it the right way. I gotta forget what I was gonna say about the rest of it. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. So go ahead.
You're talking about Sarah and her mom.
I know, but I'm saying I lost what I was gonna say after that though, because I had like a whole bunch of other stuff in my head, but I
Was
lost it.
it about when she had said she that she sometimes thinks about what it would be like with her baby daddy, what life would be like?
I feel like that's not like maybe not to say that on TV, but I don't feel like that's not inhumane or whatever. Like she doesn't have to act on it to be like I have had the thoughts of like what would it be like if me and him had worked out, but we didn't. And I guess the one thing I would say I disagree with is because I did hear Jerome say that he never heard her saying that what did he say? He never heard her say. See, that's where I lost my train of thought. I had it before all the other stuff happened. She has said she felt bad. I lost it. I lost it. That's all I did. I lost it. So there.
Alrighty. So the next couple was Taylor and Chance. All right, so it comes back on. Taylor is crying in the car. We see her and her sister. They drive off from the bar. She's in the car crying. Why does he hate me so much? No, he doesn't hate you. I don't think he hates you. I think he just doesn't have respect for you. And that's what it is. And so we see Chance. The next day, Chance wakes up at his friend's house and he's hungover. And so his friend, I like his friend because his friend basically gave him some tough love. I was like, this is not cool. Look at you. You're waking up drunk. You've been doing this drinking and all this stuff. You need to get yourself together. Which I felt like was really good advice. He's like, you need to go home, try to fix your relationship. What's the story? What's going on with your relationship? Chance is kind of like, I don't know, or whatever. And so he does listen to his friend and he leaves. Looks like his friend is leaving the house. And I think the friend was like, you can't stay in my house when I'm not here. That's how I almost got from that. And so he goes home. On his way, he calls Taylor and he apologizes to her. And so she ends up telling him that he can come inside the house. He goes inside the house and, he apologizes to her again. And then he actually reveals to her. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. He reveals to her that he actually has gotten laid off from his job. And you can kind of see the disappointment on her face because it's like, I got this new baby. You're not working. We got all these bills. We're behind on all these things. And so Taylor ends up saying to the camera, like in her one-on-one time, she's like, she did better when she was a single mom than what she's doing with Chance there with her. So I think she's finally realizing that, hey, life is not better with this man. And I could actually be doing better off if I get rid of him. Even though, from social media and stuff, I know they are still together. So I know she didn't leave him. But I felt like the ideal is at least somewhat there. It's just she's not choosing to act on the ideal. All right. So thoughts on Taylor and Chance this week?
Well, first of all, the attitude she had at the end of the scene, the bar scene, and she was cussing him out. And like, you letting her effing touch on you and you blah, 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 blah. She should have had that in the beginning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm like, come with that energy in the beginning. We're not gonna wait till like he done called his friend and got another ride home and all the other stuff. So I was actually proud of her for actually sounding like an adult and not with her little kid voice and being like whiny and crying and all stuff. Like she actually was like expressing how she feels, not oh no, I just end up waiting. You know what I mean? She actually was like, no, you letting her touch you, you doing this, you lied to me, blah blah. I was proud of her at that moment.
Yeah.
Because she never expressed herself like that ever. The way Chance was walking with the friend and like, oh, you're gonna be my friend. I agree with what he said. That you are an actual friend, not somebody I've been intimate with, not somebody I've had any type of anything with. you've been an actual friend, and his friend is actually trying to help him get into AA and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from the outside looking in, who's supposed to know that if you ain't told her this?
Right.
So I don't I'm not knocking Taylor's reaction at all because it came off super shady. However, he's right. Like, you've been a great friend, and I'm not gonna just put my friends like to the side just because I'm in this relationship. But if this relationship is what it is, and you're gonna pursue this relationship, you're gonna stay with this woman, you're gonna quit complaining behind her back to them, then let her meet her, like introduce her, be like, hey, I'm gonna meet her at the bar,
Yeah.
come with me. But by doing it the other way around, it came off shady. Because maybe she had met her, she'd be like, oh, that's just a friend who wants him to go to AA, blah, blah. She might not even cared about him meeting up with her. But anyways, the way he did it was shady and it was foul. So then when he goes to the house and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. After the friend, first of all, petted that big cat like it was, like you ain't this grown man with his long beard looking like a biker dude petting a cat. Like, not to say that you can't have a cat as a biker looking dude, but I was just like, that was a very weird moment for me.
Was it weird, like when, what's his name? The one, he had the two names.
Oh, dang, the one who was with a girl who was like acting like she
The
just couldn't
prostitute.
stand. Yeah, the
Yeah.
prostitute. Okay.
Oh my God, his name is right here on the tip of my tongue.
Chaz.
Chaz. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was sitting there rubbing the cat. I'm like, dude, is it? I don't know. I guess it's weird to me when guys like it, but it's not a issue that guys have cats or that guys like cats. But it's just like you having this serious conversation. Your friend straight who's out of prison. You trying to tell him about how he, he got to do right, and like you was tore up last night, but yeah, you stroking this little cat, this old big old fat cat. I'm like, it just to me the scene was off because of the cat. Like I was like, man, put the cat down and had a conversation. Like him holding the cat and like petting the cat, it was throwing me off because I was like, he really wants to pet that cat the whole time, like they had to say, that. But that's just me. That's me. So I did like what the friend told him. Like you were like acting a fool. You weren't being yourself. You was you know what I'm saying. You were belligerent. And he was like, well, if I got a relationship to go back to and blah blah blah, so it's like he knew he was wrong. But the way he acted that night, how he was like, I don't care, all of y'all get away from me. And it was too much for me. It was too much.
Yeah.
And especially when you've been in the wrong, like you've been lying, you ain't been honest that you got laid off. If you told her you got laid off a while back, she might have even been more understanding. Or maybe she would have probably went back to work or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for her to even have to sit and say, like, I did better on my own, which she wasn't on her own, she had Bobby.
Yeah.
So basically, you would say, I lived a better life with my sister living with me than having you as a man because my sister was a better provider and helper in this household than you as a man. So because he's come in with his toxic ways. But I was proud of her at the end when he was like, I'm sorry, blah, blah. And she was like, I don't forgive you. Like basically, yeah. I right now I can't. Like, I don't trust, what I'm saying? And it is too soon. It's too soon. She needs to forgive him eventually, even if she don't stay with him. Forgive the man. But it is too soon for him to just think like, after I've embarrassed you, I like let this other woman grab on me and walk around the parking lot with me, and I'm all yelling at you for being sweet to her. And then I come back the next day after I'm hungover and I'm like, I'm sorry. And you supposed to just come back? Like, I was proud of her for being like standing her ground on that. And then Bobby, well, I think Bobby was like, I'll move back in or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it's good she got that option. I think because they do have a fresh baby, if he can get it together and do whatever he's supposed to do, if they want to work it out, I'm not gonna knock her for staying with him. But I am happy to know that she's not just jumping into the being like, okay, now we're engaged. This, what I'm saying, like the whole like she caught up the engagement or whatever it is on hold. And he needs to just understand like she's not marrying you too quick because of how you're acting. Like, and if she was your wife, are you gonna treat her like your wife if you're still saying this about the female friends you got? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they still gonna be above her then? Because I wouldn't want to marry a man who's gonna be like, well, these people are gonna be above you. If anything, it's like these are my friends, you know who they are, but not these are my friends, and I'm gonna sneak and go behind your back, and I'm gonna get up drunk and all this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just levels to it, and I feel like he's still being like, I was controlled here, here, and here, but you're not really being controlled. You just aren't being responsible. So she's having to question what you do because you're being irresponsible.
Right.
So I'm proud of her for standing her ground, and hopefully he get his ish together because they stay together. I don't know if they still together, but if they stay together, hopefully get it together. That's all I got.
Okay, so Jerome, any thoughts on Taylor and Chance this week? You're on mute.
Taylor, get a backbone. Chance, hush. He finally revealed who the friend was, but it's too late now. He done threw everything in there. And then once he finally gets in the house and talking, he still goes back to, yeah, I was wrong, but stop it. That's my two major things there that irritated me. Everything else, I agree with Reese 100%. He just makes excuses for everything instead of just owning up and calling it a day.
Very true. All right, so our next couple is Eris and Cameron. All right, so Cameron's sisters have come to visit. And so he explains to his sisters that Eris was sick. And so the sisters was like, wait a minute, you didn't tell us that. You just said she didn't want to come. They're like, they could understand her not coming if she was feeling sick. And so, they started talking to Cameron. They brought Cameron a bottle. And of course, what does Cameron want to do? He want to take a shot. I feel like Cameron has the drunk Cameron, and then there's the sober Cameron. The sober Cameron, he understands, he listens. It seems like he reflects on what he's saying. But drunk Cameron, it's like he just wants to. Okay, so there was a part where Cameron was like, I'm grown. I can do whatever I want to do. And that's the thought process of drunk Cameron. And I did like that his sister was like, no, you can't. You might be grown, but you can't technically do what you want to do. And so I did like that his sisters were putting him like in his place. Cameron did say to the camera that he has a drinking problem and that he's working on the drinking. And the sisters, they were like, look, you have a wife, you have a family, you have a stepdaughter, she shouldn't have to see you drunk. And he was like, well, she's never seen me drunk. And so he ends up giving them like a tour of the house. And then they end up going to dinner with Eris's dad. So they took Eris's dad, his two sisters, they all went out to dinner, and that's when they were supposed to reveal the pregnancy. However, the pregnancy ended up being revealed, but it wasn't the way that Cameron wanted to do it. But his sisters found out. They were excited. Everybody seemed happy about the baby, the upcoming baby. The cookies that she had, Eris had brought some cookies to basically, help with the wedding, with the birth announcement. Those looked really good. Yeah, and then one of the sisters actually says that she sees a change in Cameron since he's been with Eris. So thoughts on Eris and Cameron this week?
I'll say now one thing I would disagree a little bit on the two sides of Cameron. I think there are two sides of it, and I agree. But I have to say, as far as the calm, whenever he's questioned, he reacts. And then it's like he has to go through this whole spiel. And I really like the idea of talking to the sisters that he went into his whole spiel and then he explained why. Because I'm like, why do you every time somebody disagrees with you or say something that you don't like, you just go on a 10? That's like, it's not necessary. You can talk. But then when he explained it, then I was like, oh, okay. Not saying it's right, but it brings more clarity and understanding. I like when they got to the place, and it was great conversation. And I like the way they when the sisters talked, and the sister in the white she was cute. Don't kill me, Cam. Sister cute though. But
So you want his wife and the sis? You just
no,
whooping your
no,
face
no, no,
with
no.
camera
He can have nope. He can have his wife. They got baby on the way. I'll buy a baby. Me, and the and my soon to be fiance will bring a gift for the child when it's born. Um, but no, she seems like she's the one that really keeps Cam in line. When things happen, and I love how they incorporated Lena into the conversation and everything also. And I like the dad with him to the side. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on him. You know, they're still my daughter. I like what's going on, but he gonna have to make sure he keep doing right. And I'm glad he's being that motivation and inspiration, kind of like that father figure in his life, as well as, you know, with everything that's happened, with not knowing about the wedding and then already being pregnant. You know, they went on ahead and said something about the birth, having kids, but he was wanting them to wait. But kids will tell it. Kids will tell it. Cause she said, cause Eris was like, "You gonna tell on me?" And Lena was like, "Yeah, but look at you. You're the one that told Pops already about pregnancy." Hold it all right there. I was like, done. And he just like, well, that just messes everything up here. And just took off the shirt. Oh, that was so funny. But yeah, other than that, that's all I had. I enjoyed the moment.
So I think the old Cameron would have probably been annoyed by the fact that she told the dad, but new Cameron is like, whatever. It ain't cool, but whatever. So I kind of like that. But if you rewind it back to when the sisters first came, he do be off the chain. Like, as soon as he get a little liquor, he is off the chain. Like, he kind of does turn into a different person. But like Jerome said, like, if he would explain what he said, what he means up front, instead of snapping and then explaining it, he will actually come out way more mature. Because when he explains it, it's actually very mature answers that he gives. And it's not to say that like he's this super mature person and he's this great guy, but his answers, like, you can tell he's actually observing and listening and following along what's going on in life. And he's like, okay, I get it. I got a wife. I got a stepdaughter to take care of, and now a baby on the way. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But I think it's still that street life that be in him a little bit, that he's like still not fully letting go, but he's working on it. And I give him respect for that. That's why I think I like it. Like, I actually like them. I actually think, and maybe it's unpopular, but Eris is the one that's aggressive to me. Eris
She
is
does
pretty
have
aggressive.
some ways about her.
She's aggressive. Well, I'm like, because even when it came down to, like, she was like, you need to apologize, like, not apologize to the dad, but make things right with the dad. When it came to the sisters, she was like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But it's like, he ain't had nothing to do with you not telling your dad either. But he still tried to make it right. Even though he messed up on how he presented to his sisters, with the fact that you came at him with the dad thing first, and he did the right thing and tried to make it right, I feel like then try to make it right with the sisters. Be like, hey, I was sick. Yep, he didn't convey it right, but this is what it was. Because that's still your husband and baby daddy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, y'all two got to stick together. But maybe that's unpopular. I don't know. But I do think that, like, she kind of has a double standard on the way she thinks. Like, he owed her dad something, but she ain't owe the sisters nothing. And I get it. He put it out wrong, but you ain't tell your dad. So y'all both was wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe I don't agree, but hey. And then, like, with the I did like how, like you said, with Lena and all that, the daughter, like, they kind of included her, and I thought it was funny that she snitched on the mom about it wasn't no intentional or no, we trying to do wrong, or she just said it, but it was innocent basically. And I thought that was still cute, but good that she said it, because you know what I mean. It was like, he ain't looking stupid, because he actually actually going back to it. when he said something, he was like, "Y'all are aunties. I'm a girl dad, whatever." But he didn't include the dad, almost as if he knew that the dad already knew when he made his comment. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, why would he say that and not be like, and you're a new grandpa, to another baby, unless he knew the dad knew. So I was like, I don't know, how we do
Or
things.
he could have been saying that thinking that the sisters would think he's only talking about Lena when he said, I'm a girl dad, not
No,
that.
because he had pulled the shirt off.
Oh.
I'm saying when he pulled the shirt off, he's like, "Yep, y'all gonna be new aunties. Give me another mom. I'm be a girl dad." But he left, like he said something about everybody except the dad, and I was like, was it because he already knew? The dad knew. I don't know, but like we don't know what she told him off camera. Like, hey, I already told my dad, but we're just gonna keep it going for the cameras. So I don't know, but I really did feel like from the start of Cameron up until now, I'm with the sister. Like I see a change, and right now, outside of like Michael and what you call it, they're probably the other couple that I think will probably make it, and I like them so far. I just think like a girl need to calm her aggression down just a little bit because he gets like flared up real quick when aggression comes his way. So I don't know, but overall, like I mean, hey.
Okay.
Cool.
So our next couple was Derek and Monique. So Derek, he calls Monique. He tells her that he wants to see her. And he not only wants to see her, but he wants to see her alone. So with no family, no interactions, nobody can second guess what he's trying to say. So he sends her the address that he's at, and she eventually shows up. She shows up quite a bit later than what he was expecting her to. She meets up with him, and initially she won't hug him. Right? She says that she feels embarrassed by what happened, with her family and the way he was acting with his phone. And she ends up telling Derek that she actually came to end things. That's her stance on it. And so he walks her over to an ice skating rink and he wants her to ice skate with him. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I feel like maybe the producers put him up to taking her to the ice skating rink, but it was more so for like, hey, she'll be this big woman. She's probably gonna fall on the ice. There'll be all kinds of memes. People will be talking about the show. So I kind of felt uncomfortable a little bit with the thought that they may be setting her up to be the brunt of some jokes. That's what I felt like, but I could be wrong. And so,
But she had a dress on too.
yeah.
Like, what you expect? She got a dress on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, he skates around the rink by himself. And then at one point he stops, he calls her over to the rink and he proposes to her. Right. So she ended up saying yes, but of course we dramatized it out. There was even a commercial break in between her answers. And it was cute. Like afterwards, after she put on her ring, he was taking pictures of her and stuff wearing her ring. I did think that was cute. All right, thoughts on Monique and Derek? Yes.
Oh, I got to say more.
Oh, Derek, Monique, thumbs down. What part makes you do the thumbs down?
Okay, no, okay. What I didn't like is he had to make sure she came by herself because let's be real. Derek knows that Monique's strength is found is her family. You take the family away, he controls her. Because if he would have did that, and because when you propose like that, that's the time he should have done it in front of everyone. But he knows that would happen. I'm like, no, don't do it. Because you just found more stuff in his phone. So he's had zero time to sit here and he said the words, but to show that, hey, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be faithful or what have you. So it's like, I'm sorry, forgive everything, let's go. Because that's gonna come. Even if something comes up tomorrow and she brings it up, she says, listen, you just accepted my proposal to marriage. If that was a problem, why'd you even say yes? And that's gonna be thrown over her head later on. I wish them the best I wish them the best, but the way it was playing, he planned it to his benefit so that he wouldn't have to worry about anybody that could get in her head that could tell her, hey, it's nothing wrong with marrying him, but let him prove. Because time and time again, he says, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, and it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with JC. Her family's her strength, and he pulled her out of that environment because when they were at the house, they like quadruple teamed them. I don't necessarily agree with that, but at the same time, with the way he acts, like I feel like how else do you get through to somebody like that? Because I don't know if he's a narcissist or if he's serious. So when he got down on one knee and was like, sorry if y'all hear my chair cracking. If he got down on one knee and was like, you know, I'm dead serious. I'm turning away everything. Cause like right before he said that, they showed him talking about, yeah, when I was with Monique, I was sleeping with like 10 other girls. They showed like the preview from the other episode. So I'm like, or the, you know, clip from the old episode. So they wanted to make sure we remembered, like, the dude slept with like all these people before he came back and somehow I'm gonna be faithful to her now. So it's like, is he a narcissist or is he being serious? Like, is he really like, okay, I've done all this dirt and I'm ready to be faithful? Because every single time he said, I want to be faithful now, he's proven that he's cheated.
Mm-hmm.
With all the girls, whether it's with the correctional officer, whoever it was, like he's never actually showed that he's been genuine. Even when I even was like, maybe he's not this crazy guy, right? And then he did something. I'm like, oh shoot, never mind. Okay, he's not good. So my thing is like, just because of the way people would drag her, I don't want her to be caught up in him because, like, honestly, he ain't all that. He like super short. Like, that's a flaw. That's a character. You know, not to say short man is, but I mean, I'm saying, but for him to put himself on this pedestal and then to be like, oh, you know what, I laid the pipe. She probably could actually turn around and say it ain't that great. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's other people that can say it ain't that great, but by you not doing that, it's coming off like he's just this. I don't know, like he's just this guy who can like just do whatever and it doesn't matter because everything is so good outside of how he treats you, and that's the part that like is toxic. It's toxic. So for her sake, hopefully he get it right before they get married. I was happy that he did pull out the ring and show it to her. And I, you know, the way the commercial breaks work, they were like, you know, and then especially when they said I do, but I don't, it's the name of the thing. So I was like, oh snap, I do, but I don't. She gonna say I don't. And then she was like, I do. And I'm like, I do. Y'all got me. We got me. You got us. But
Yeah.
they got us good on that. Because even with spoilers, you be like, when you watch it, you like, but look how she acted. Because she was like, I do. And I'm like, what? That don't even make sense. That face before and the face after didn't, whatever. So I don't know. I hope he's serious because I like Monique. And I do feel like because of maybe possibly her past, because she says she's a confident woman, but it's not proven that by her actions with him. So I'm hoping that like he does right and that he really is cutting off everybody. Because I mean, outside of the insecurity, Monique's not bad, but she might not even be as insecure. Because she even said, that's the other thing. She said, I want you to be able to have female friends without me feeling like this, but because of the way he handles it, she feels like this. You know what I'm saying? Like she like, you could be friends with a female, but the way you doing it, it's kind of like with Chance and everybody else. Like when you do it sneakily, it's weird. It's weird. But if you are legit and like this is my friend, people can have friends that are just their friends. They can. But when it's how you present it. So I
Yeah.
feel like she's even reasonable. She's reasonable. She let you have girls in your life. She's not even like, oh girl, like she's not like Taylor or Tay. I ain't never heard him say Tay until this last like
Yeah, the last two episodes he's been calling her Tay.
yeah, I'm like, since when did we start calling her Tay? I was like, okay, well, Tay. So she's not even, and I'm not even saying Tay's unreasonable because Tay has reason to feel the way she feel, but
Hmm.
Tay, even with Tay, like Tay don't even want you having female friends because you're not doing it the proper way. Monique is like, do it right, and I don't mind your female friends. So that's why I'm like, that's you got a 1 in a million. You got
Hmm.
this chick that's gonna stand behind you for everything you did, plus she gonna let you have female friends if you do it right. Please, because after what he did, that dude did not have not one female friend that I know of.
Yeah.
I'd be toxic about that. Like, oh, who is that? Oh, okay, better be your sister.
Yeah.
Let
All
me
right.
see a birth certificate that say your parents are her parents. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no sis going on around here.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
Or
You got the
sus.
same mom or you got the same daddy. Okay.
I
Mhm.
just thought about this, and I'll be quick. You basically said I do to a relationship where you feel like you need to put up a camera, you
Yep.
need to check a
Yep.
phone,
Yep.
you need to
Yep.
check a
Yep.
tablet. You gotta have other. You've got to still entertain other women
Yep.
that come in your DMs and stuff. You still gotta holler at folks. Um, it's like toxic. It's like toxic written all over it. And she may be confident, but like you say, she seems like a person that lacks a certain bit of self esteem or self confidence, and it's like he plays on that. I'm gonna do whatever because no matter what I do, she's still gonna be here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, you look at Taylor as being Tay. You look at Tay as being insecure, but when you got somebody who's like, well, introduce me first, then you can have these friends. It's like you're gonna say yes to a man who like dogged you out. Like literally, Tay has caught him on one chick, and that one
Yeah.
chick was legit, probably just a friend. And if she
Mm,
wasn't, she still came off as just a friend. She just a little touchy feely, but
yeah.
I think she just didn't get it. I think literally the friend just didn't get it. But with Monique, it's obvious stuff like naked pictures,
Yeah.
videos, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? These are not your friends.
Yeah.
Not your
Y'all went to a bar last night and somehow he's following that chick on Instagram.
But see, but that's what I don't get.
Hmm.
Because then when she called the person in the bathroom, then she went outside and back in the kitchen area or the dining room area. Then they called her again, and then it's like, oh, I live in Georgia. Who the freak did they call in the bathroom?
I think that was a
They
whole
didn't clear
different
that up.
person.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it didn't even make sense. So you made it seem like you called the chick from the bar from Chicago, and then when you went into the kitchen or the dining room, you called the chick from Chicago, but she was like, "I'm from Georgia." So it's like, did he set it up for her to say that, or is this a whole different person?
Yeah, I think it's a whole. I think it's a whole different person.
I do too, but
I
it's
mean,
like,
New
if
person.
you
why
if
your
they were
kid?
actually calling the bottle girl, it would make sense because the bottle girl knows he has a woman, so she may be like, "Oh, I live in Georgia,"
Yeah,
so
but
she
what
would
happened
come.
to the call she made in the bathroom?
Oh, I don't know.
You remember when she was in the bathroom and they called her and her sister like called the number and she called the number, but then she did the same thing in the dining room, and that's why I'm like,
Hmm.
League TV is playing with us because it's just like what I think with who was it the other week? Oh, Monique now when he was like, "Hey, ooh," and I'm like, was that really real or was that you know what I mean? So I don't know what we TV doing, but and now we got this big gap. We ain't even gonna. We'll forget by the time we even try to think about it.
All right. So the next two couples, they really didn't do much. So I'm actually going to push them into one. So Michael and Justine. All righty. So we see Michael and Justine. They're shopping. They're preparing for his show later in the evening. Michael, he's like in the car practicing his lyrics and stuff. And then we see them go to the venue. All right. So my thing is, Mocha, why is it you could only get 10 people to show up at this event? Like, shouldn't you have promoted him a little bit better, or what's the deal here? And so he performs. The crowd, they actually were hyped for him. It just wasn't a lot of people there. And so he actually ends up calling Justine up onto the stage. He tells the crowd she's been with him since he was in prison. They got married while he was in prison, so he wasn't able to propose and all of that to her. And so he drops down on one knee and he proposes to her. Um, and then we see clips of Mocha where Mocha's like, basically says that Michael's disrespectful. He didn't listen to anything he told him to do or whatever. But it was crazy that Mocha was saying that because, like, the crowd that Mocha had at this event, they were all women that looked like they were established in their lifestyles. They probably have husbands and kids at home. So I don't think him doing that in front of the crowd that was there was so detrimental, because it wasn't like he had a bunch of 20-year-olds there salivating at the mouth to get at Michael. So I didn't get it, his whole statement. And then it looked like he was smiling when Michael did it. So I was like, I'm confused. I'm just confused right now. I don't know what's going on. All right, and then Marcelino and Brittany. Okay, so Brittany's mom, she comes into town for the wedding. We see Marcelino. He goes to the beach. He has Brittany's older son with him. They set up for the vow renewal, and they end up renewing their vows. Then they tell us it's 2 months later. It's 2 months later. Brittany looked like she's ready to fight Marcelino or the cameraman. I don't know who she want to fight. She looks mad as hell. Brittany says that she went through Marcelino's phone and found out he's been talking to another woman. So she is mad. She's livid. We see Marcelino. He's talking. He says that he's glad he got married, so he won't one day have to live with the regret of what would have happened if I had have gotten married, if I had have had children, right? Okay, and so that was their scenes. Anything about Justine and Michael or Brittany and Marcelino?
Oh, MJ. So Justine and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
They well, no, what's our boy name? The producer? Mocha. So Mocha annoys me because when he introduced Michael, he was like, and his wife, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you just introduced Michael and then he surprisingly brought his wife up. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I feel like he made it seem like, oh, you gonna propose in my city? Like, this a girlfriend that he proposed to,
Yeah.
and they're not already married. And you know what I'm saying? All he was saying was like, she held it down for me when I was in jail. And to me, to an extent, it could actually make his music better if you got love songs where somebody held it down for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he could even play on that, like, and make love songs by people who hold it down for you. And then there's other people who've been holding down for their person, not necessarily jail, but just like, hey, we had this going on. Maybe I was a provider. Maybe I was whatever. I held it down. And that's even a fan base. You know what I'm saying? People who can relate, not as necessarily jail, but again, somebody who held it down, male or female. But I feel like Mocha was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm done because he did the proposal. But you just said this is dude's wife, so, or his girl. So it wasn't even like these people are like, wait, he's getting married, he's in a relationship. Like, you announced him as being in a relationship when he walked up. That part there made me annoyed with Mocha, because I was like, first of all, I thought Mocha didn't even want him to be associated. So when he's sitting back like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna bring my boy up, and then, his girl, blah, blah, the fact that he even acknowledged her, and then you get mad when he proposes. So you did it in my city, on my stage, I'm fall back. Then fall back, because obviously you ain't did much, because like you said, Nene, you had 10 people in the audience. You ain't did nothing anyway. So you probably can find a better producer. I don't care how many gold plaques you got on your, put some platinums up. You know what I'm saying? Do something like produce some Jay-Z's, not JC, some Jay-Z's and some other, Biggies and Tupacs, and then holla at me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what have you done for you to act like that? Like real talk, because you took him, like you said, took him to a club full of older women who are probably established, got husbands, got boyfriends, who ain't looking at him like that. They just there to have a good time.
Yeah, they've got their own 401k, so they're not looking for some
Yeah,
rapper to come sweep
yeah,
them off their
yeah.
feet.
Now it might be that if this rapper happens to be, first of all, he probably ain't sweeping your feet if he's in that little club. So when they're there, they're not looking at him like he ain't no Jay-Z, he ain't no Nas, he ain't nobody who's established. So these women already know this because these women probably got more money than him.
Those women most likely don't even really listen to rap.
Probably not. But the fact that even
They
if they were
probably listen to
jamming
the
to it,
Isley Brothers.
you know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
if
Like,
we want to be real with it, they probably are.
yeah, but then women was like jamming to, you know, I'm like, now granted, oh girl
Yeah.
knew all the words, and she was all like, I'm driving in the pow, pow, you know, she knew all the words. But you saw them other women on the side, like kind of like, oh snap, yeah, yep. So the fact that you was getting that reaction, to me, that's a good sign that you're gonna reach some people, period, with his music.
Mm-hmm.
Not, oh, you proposed to your wife. Don't introduce his wife then if you got a problem with his wife. To me, that was contradictory. Now, and then I also thought that it was kind of weird. They still was matching even at that moment. I'm like,
Yeah, because
y'all,
they do stop.
I know they won't. Cause I was like, dude, it's cute, but it ain't. But it is, but it ain't. I'm confused. I don't know. But
It's
I was
gone
like,
on
yeah,
for too long. It's cute when it's here and there, but it's like every time we see y'all on camera, you're matching.
yeah. And then I will say one thing. That dude got some pretty hair. Why you have your hair like that? Like, put some water on that. Get them curls popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude got pretty hair. I feel like this is your first show. Come out there and make these women actually want you. Like, you came out there with like, now he looked fine every, like, I guess from here down, but that hair, I was like, come on now, you got hair that even women will be like, dang, that sexy man bun, you got this going on, whatever. You had that mess looking nappy, frizzy. I don't want to say nappy, frizzy. You know what I'm saying? Like, put some water on them and make that joint curly. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a lot he could have done, especially being that he was nervous. Like for me, if I was him, I'd have came out looking my best. So if for some reason I mess up my rap, y'all gonna still be like, dang, he was fine as I don't know what. I'm gonna come back and check him out. But whatever. Um, Marcelino and Brittany. Now I understand why they're not coming back because they're gonna get divorced. It makes sense. I feel like I'm tired of them anyways. But the only part of this whole thing that makes me mad is that Marcelino took her son, sat there, and he told the son, like, you know, he had this conversation with the son. The son's like, I want y'all to be happy, do this wedding. He like, ha, you want cake, blah, blah. But you did this whole wedding, included her son, it's not your son, to still be playing this woman, still to split up. I'm like, now she didn't caught you once. What are you doing different to not get caught twice? It's obviously nothing because you got caught again quickly. So if you weren't serious about your relationship, why did you involve her kids in it? Why did you involve your kids in it? And why did you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you make this woman go through renewing her vows knowing that you're still cheating on her? That I have no respect for Marcelino. I have no respect for him now. I was like, okay, maybe he was just caught up in the Vegas lifestyle. Maybe stuff went good with them. Maybe he was like, I'm trying to be this dad, but you want me to be something I'm not because we did this threesome and I feel this way. But now I'm like, nah, you just a slime ball. He's a slime ball. Because even after the threesome, after you done moved and you done been like, okay, we moving on from all that, you still was cheating. Marcelino is a joke, man. I'm like, the sad part is because he's not an ugly dude, he'll find somebody else quickly. But I hope she finds somebody quicker and moves on with her life because to me that ain't right. Like you wasted her time when she said she wasn't ready for that. You pushed her into this marriage because her son wanted to see it, and then you like, yeah, let's renew our vows just to play her. Marcelino garbage. That's all I got.
Okay, I'll be quick with it. As far as it was good to see them not matching this time. Um, it was a nice it was a nice performance. It was a nice song. I get how the producer feels. Hey, he's trying to do it one way, but you got to buy that. If you want to have this artist, he's not putting his wife aside. Wife don't want to be put aside. Understand though, there's gonna be other if he makes it, there's gonna be other venues with bigger people and screaming groupies, and you got to sit there and let them do it sometimes, especially when the baby's born. I like that he did announce and said he was being funny. She don't like me, but it's okay. I'm like, okay, you being petty, let it go. That's about it for them. As far as the rest of them,
Brittany and Marcelino.
Brittany Marcelino, it's sad it happened that way. Marcelino's still in his ways, but I pray for the best, and I'm glad they're co-parenting.
Yeah. All right, so I'll give you a quick recap on all the couples. So Brittany and Marcelino, they are separated now. As Jerome just said, they say they're co-parenting right now. And Cameron and Eris, they're preparing for their baby who will be here in August of 2023. Monique and Derek, they are solely planning their wedding, and right now they have a long distance engagement going on. Amber and Puppy, they both live with Queen right now. Justine and Michael, Michael, he's releasing music, and their baby will be here in July of 2023. But Sarah and Sean, they basically just said that they're enjoying her new boob job. Yes. Blaine and Lindsay, Blaine is saving money so he can get his ankle monitor taken off, whereas Lindsay is hoping to be engaged. She says if he doesn't propose to her, she's going to propose to him. I'll leave my thoughts on that out. Chance and Tay. Chance, he got a job and they still live together. But no word on like a wedding. They're still just taking their time. All right, did y'all have anything to say about the updates for each couple?
No, I wish them all the best. I wish the kids the best, and that's it.
Okay, so that was episode 49 and 50, which was also the season finale for the show. I want to thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, you are the true MVP. And thank you for coming back. So we'll be back once the episodes start coming back on again. I think that's in July, they said.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. And until next time, friends. Bye.